Hi everyone, and welcome to our 10th GrowVC Everyone Funding Startups podcast. And today we're talking about stories, and not just any stories, but memorable stories that truly add value to your startup. People like stories, and they serve as a valuable marketing tool for businesses. There are countless of great examples of stories that persist through time and that even pass from generation to generation. So where do these stories come from? And how do you get your own? I'm here with GrowVC founder Jouko, and for some professional insight in this field, we have our very special guest, Ole TIllmann, joining us today. So Ole, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my pleasure. Hi everybody, my name is Ole TIllmann. I live in Berlin and I'm an actor and a TV presenter on my own, and I'm an educated acting coach, and I developed a tool for presentation, which I call the story embodiment technique, and it helps you to get your thoughts into a story and this story into your body, so that you have your head free for your presentation. And this is how I met Jouko.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's fascinating to have you with the show, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
And now let's start off with today's GrowVC member highlight. And this time it's a startup called Kurrents. And Kurrents focuses on the massive market in Facebook applications and games, which is projected to hit about $3.6 billion by 2012. And the startup will outsource the development of apps, but keep a family-friendly focus with a positive social impact. So let's get some thoughts. Jouko, you're in Singapore, and I believe you had some experience about this market today. So what do you think?
Actually, I was here in Singapore in the Epsilon 2010 conference, and actually the second day yesterday was very much about the social gaming, and I was actually talking today also in one social gaming event. There were people who were working basically for many different social gaming companies like Simca and some other well-known companies. And it's an interesting market, so that it is growing, and I think that people believe that it is still in early phase. But definitely it is not easy market, because there are quite a lot of competition, and there are quite many new companies that are willing to come to this area. I think that one important question is also that what is exactly your role in that business, so that there are some companies like more like distributors, then there are production companies, then there are basically those people who are developing games and so on. So that it is something that where you must be quite careful when you think your long-term business, that how to build it. Because, for example, in social gaming business, we have seen that there can be some success stories, but it doesn't guarantee that you can make more success stories. And also it's quite tough competition to keep your customers, even you are able to get them. And I think that what is a kind of concern, what many people see is the Facebook as a platform, because there are some people who are skeptical how long time Facebook can continue their own growth, and how much there will be competition, and also how Facebook will act in the future, and how they are going to, for example, modify the service, and many that kind of things that might make the situation a little bit unstable for those companies that are operating on Facebook platform, and that's why there are many companies that basically they would like to create some of their own platforms, but it is definitely not easy. And then also some companies are looking maybe that kind of model, that they are not dependent on one platform. So that's this is not very specific about this our highlight company at the moment, but these are just some key points when you consider investments in this area.
Yes, and the Facebook thing, since it's something that's so modern and something that people are spending a lot of time with, I think it's great that they have a very adaptable approach as well, that they kind of learn as they go. But we can keep up with currents in the community and see what happens in the future for them. And now I think we could move on to our main discussion point, how to build that great story. And one could imagine that a story is not something that you simply invent, or is it? Ole, what do you see as the main ingredients in a great story?
Oh, I think it's not really possible to invent a story. I mean, it's kind of possible to find your own story, and I think this is most important. And to invent something always is kind of strange, because your story should really belong to yourself, and it could work as a marketing tool perfectly, but you have to really look into your own history of maybe your startup and the reasons why you just started your business, which was the inciting moment, what kind of problem did you want to solve, and this is very, very important for your story. So I think, yes, a good story needs to have a strong protagonist, so a hero. Maybe this is this could be your product, or it also could be your company, so yourself. So you need strong emotional characteristics, like positive values, which really drive you to make your business much, much better. Then it needs the dilemma, so the inciting force, maybe the problem. It needs an antagonist, which is always very, very interesting. So, and let me tell you a little story about this one. I have a friend of mine who lives in Hamburg, and he just set up his startup company by accident 10 years ago. And he has a very, very interesting story. He was a big fan of Afri-Cola, which is kind of a soft drink. And he sat in his bath like one evening, as he always did, and he just drank a sip of his Coke. And he realized it was different. It tasted different this time, and he really missed this caffeine kick this time. And from this moment, this was his inciting moment. He called his friends, who all really adored this Afri-Cola soft drink, and they all said, "Yeah, that was the same with us." And so he and his friends, like if you see it as a story, he as the protagonist and his friends as his team who support him, they really made the journey from Hamburg in Germany to Cologne, where the producer of the soft drink had his main quarter. And they went there with some water, pump gun, two toys, and they said, "Hey, we want to have our soft drink back." And they found out that this producer, he changed the recipe without telling his clients. And that was really a bad moment for them, because they felt like something was going on there, and somebody changed that. Somebody lied to them. And that was really a problem for them. And so we have there the strong antagonist. And but what they did, they forced this antagonist, this producer of the soft drink, into a dialogue. And what happened, on the other hand, was not that the producer really solved the problem, but he had a crisis manager on the other hand, and so they felt like they are a problem. So the hero journey just went on, and they had this major fight at the end of the 2 years of discussion with the producer, where the producer started a soft drink, but in a plastic bottle and a Coke Light. And that was the moment where they started to do their own business. And by chance, they bumped into the guy who had the original recipe of their soft drink. And they started to produce like thousands of bottles. And they just drank them on their own. And on and on. And so now it's a business, and it's a very interesting business. It's called Premium Cola, and it's kind of a non-profiteering company. A very small startup, but pretty cool idea. So if you want to know more about it, it's premiumcola.de.
Yeah, that's a very good story. I mean, I'm sure that sparks a lot of interest with the audiences and different groups of people.